till now the notion has always been that if you're not great at maths, you can't pursue tech.
You were in a program in the West, you had scholarships to go to West. What made you guys choose this over the path that you were already on?
Many of the universities outside, no matter how much scholarship they offer you, the actual living costs are at least minimum 20 lakhs a year.
Thinking about Masters Union was not like I'm dropping anything to come here at all. It never felt like that.
I think the future of innovation is in India.
I actually dropped an offer letter from University of Sydney for Masters Union.
Talk to me a little bit more about the projects that you have been working on lately and what exactly got you into those projects. Hi everybody. Today we are going to talk to our first year data science and AI students. This is a program where your performance is not driven by assignments. It's actually rooted in building in reality, production level codes, user interviews, making products that can last, making products that solve actual problems. That is exactly what the students of Masters Union do in their data science and AI program, and we have 4 of them here that we are going to speak to. Let me introduce you to them very quickly. We have Harman. Harman is building an AI powered discovery platform and leading innovation through hackathons to community driven learning. We have Arushi, who's built Kane, an assistive app that is recognized in the Viksit Bharat Challenge while also publishing research, balancing consulting projects with her studies. This is the one person that I think might be able to help me find a job eventually if needed through her network. We have Ishaan with us, who's building Biz, a data-driven platform designed to help small businesses make data-backed decisions, but also he's working on My CFO, he's building a lot of other projects. And then we have Divyam. Divyam is transforming healthcare with AI-powered systems. He's already gained global exposure and recognition through hackathons and his top 50 ranking in Major League Hacking. Guys, give yourself a round of applause. That's quite a lot. All right, can we take a step back and try to remember that first spark that we had, you know, the moment we realized that technology is where we want to be? Harman, why don't you start?
Okay, sure. So, hi everyone. About me, I think for me, like back in my grade 4th, I had my first iPad, which was launched back then, and I think I was someone who wanted to explore it inside out. So I used to like go into the settings, have like different games on it, different programs, and how did they run. And back then I was also interested in the sci-fi, and all of the smart things had that human intelligence in them, which back then seemed so fiction to us, but now we call it AI.
Yeah.
And that's something how I got into the field of AI. And then in my grade 10th, I got to part in various competitions like the NASA Conrad Innovators Award and Moonshot Pirates. So these two are global platforms where I actually interacted with people from other countries and learned that how, you know, competitions and communities help us bring our ideas together on a global level and build solutions that have a vast spread. So again, I think technology can help create an impact on such a large scale that, I mean, hardware products tend to lose that thing. So that's something about me, how I got into this.
Interesting. So Jarvis got you started and Iron Man is what you want to be.
Yes, someday.
Someday? Okay.
Definitely.
Interesting. Ishaan.
Hi, I'm Ishaan and I started my tech journey back in 6th grade, right? We have all played with mechanics, I'm sure. And mechanics got me interested in robotics a lot. So building robots, just playing around with the screwdriver got me into tech. Then in 6th grade, I also started with something called IRC, so International Robotronics Competition. I actually managed to qualify for the national levels 3 times in a row. And this was the driving force. So I would say my elder brother got me started with robotics and I was like, this is the thing I want to do in the future. So once I started doing tech and robotics and all of this stuff, I got to know that ultimately I'm leading to something called automation, right? I want to achieve automation as a skill. You know, automation is not really just a robot doing things. We have to teach the robots to perform things, right? So I was always curious about the onset of AI as well. So considering what I'm currently doing, making a chatbot for my CFO, right? This is what I aspire to be in 7th grade or 8th grade.
Interesting. So 4th standard, 6th standard, Arushi, where do you stand?
After school, I like couldn't stay alone at home at like 5th grade or 6th grade. So my mom used to take me to her office, and I just used to sit in her like sort of her cabinet or whatever, like her desk, and just scribble or draw. But the great thing was, because I was surrounded by people who are in tech. So let's say one of our colleagues, I'm just sitting on his table, just observing quietly. Okay, screen पे like कुछ code हो रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है. And passively, I think that made me realize that okay, this is something that I can understand. Like, I can understand what wireframes are. I can understand how the flow of an app works. So that started out that I combined my drawing with my understanding of wireframes. And what I did was I made like these flip books sort of. And with each and every flip book, the display on the wireframe changes. So I made like a miniature, like sort of iPhone sort of a thing with just paper. And later, I think that did manifest itself into me reading more about technology, because you hear a lot of complicated words. You hear like the first word was wireframe for me. The other word was, okay, what is app development? What is an app? What is GIS? And later, when I started reading up on it, when I got my own mobile phone, the Wi-Fi or whatever, so I realized, okay, this is something I can do. I started from YouTube itself. There was no teacher to train me back then, and I think that has got me where I am. So
Wonderful. Awesome. Divyam.
I mean, there's some really amazing stories here, right? For me, it was much more goofy and irresponsible. So for me, it started off in like 7th grade. My dad got me a really tiny laptop. It was very cute, and I used to watch YouTube videos on it, solar system or whatever it may be, because I was really interested in science since the beginning. And what happened was, one day I accidentally spilled milk on it, and my dad took me to Nehru Place, which is Asia's largest tech market.
Yeah.
They opened the laptop like right in front of me, and I got to see the hardware. And I was truly amazed at how can such a tiny green board with these black things on top of it do such amazing things, right? And that's where my interest peaked. And after that, I spilled milk about 2-3 more times, but that was most definitely on purpose. But that's kind of where my journey started. I got into like solenoids, basic circuitry, and mechatronics from there. And that kind of went all till 6th grade. After that, I got into programming more. I started got to know about the software side of things, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, all that sort of stuff. So I had these really cool friends that I could always work on these projects with, because I've loved, collaborating with people always and just sharing those complementary skills. So I got into that stuff in about 8th or 9th grade. I did this course in coding. So it was COVID as well. So you had a free time, like so much freedom on yourself. I developed this game. I learned JavaScript and everything. I started developing 2D games in it. Then I learned C#. So one of my games, I presented it in a competition called Toykathon. It was organized by the government of India and a lot of ministries. So it was about building toys and games inside India. And it was a very fun story, because we reached to the final round of it. It was college-age students and high school students both in it. So that was about 10th grade. And we had 2 rounds. One was a mentorship round, and in the evening we had a judging round. And in the mentorship round, my UI gets thrashed.
Okay.
They absolutely hate it. And they love the concept, but they hate the game. And as the team lead, I felt really, really bad about it. For the next 6 hours, it went by like in a snap of a finger. Because for 6 hours I sat down, I coded, I changed the entire UI of the game. It's just me photoshopping a lot of pictures and just putting it in, doing something or the other. And about 6 hours later, we gave our judging round. It happened really, really well. And I think 2 weeks later, we got the result and we won 25,000 rupees there.
Wow.
And that's sort of where my journey started off, right? And after that, I went on to another competition where we built this app. It was a medical, you basically convert transcriptions, the auto medicines and all that stuff. So we presented this app at Youth Ideathon in IT Delhi and received about a 1 lakh rupee incubation grant for that. So it's just like always being at the center of hardware and software both really got me off, because that's where I was really interested always. After that, I prepped for JEE in my 11th grade and I knew that wasn't for me, because I always loved doing, my own projects and stuff, and it really stopped me from doing that. I wanted to focus on one thing properly. Then I headed abroad for a year, and that was the most unique experience I've had. That's where I got into much more into artificial intelligence, network stuff like that, much more working on LLMs and other things, publishing a few research papers. And there I got to do a lot of hackathons. That's how I got into MLH, right? So I participated in 10, 11 hackathons, and it was just me always just chilling with my friends and us doing our stuff. We went to this 7-hour-long hackathon in DC, I remember to this day, And from the moment I stepped into that building, I was scared because no one there was my age. It was people who are working as NASA independent contractors. There's people who are YC founders who have got funding for their companies. And I was a freshman, that to an international student, right?
Yeah.
So you possibly can't imagine you're walking out of the win. At least I was hoping I'd get third.
Yeah.
And I remember while they were announcing the prizes, as soon as third and second went, I felt really, really sad because we worked really hard for that. But we saw the judges arguing like, who's going to announce the next prize? And I heard my team's name. I picked up my friend beside me and I started like twirling him around. It was the most unique experience ever. And that was a 7-hour hackathon on Saturday. And right after that, we took a 4-hour drive to Virginia and headed to another hackathon then and there.
Okay.
And that's how the journey always went on, right? Just constantly building. And more than that, it became about the people I met. So sort of just, being so optimistic about tech and all these awesome people I always got to meet, even the panel here, right? So that just always keeps me going about it. And that's a little bit about my story.
Interesting. There's a lot that you all have given up also to take this very not so traditional path, right? You were building businesses already. You were already in a program in India. You were in a program in the West. You had scholarships to go to West. What made you guys choose this over the path that you were already on, the road less traveled?
Like I wasn't preparing to go to like any of the abroad universities. I was already interning since 9th. Like I was doing freelancing on Fiverr and all that. And in India, that still isn't an expectation from people. So because of the networks that I was building, I learned, okay, you know what? These internships can actually help you gain admissions. Unlike in India, where it's thought of as something that takes you a little back. So I started applying for scholarships. I got one scholarship called the Next Genius Scholarship, and it was like around $50,000 per annum. But I had to leave that scholarship because, again, many of the universities outside, no matter how much scholarship they offer you, the actual living costs are at least minimum 20 lakhs a year. And coming from my background, I would never put that burden on my family. And even if it's taking a loan, not taking a loan, I might as well earn much money and just fund my own education. So that's where I left the abroad path. And the India path, I got a lot of acceptances in traditional universities as well as new age universities. But when I actually met those universities in person, even though their student cohort was really, really good academically and otherwise as well, when I asked one of the professors who was like at the university event, okay, you know what, I have interned at this place and I'm interning somewhere, and these are the things you're teaching in the first year, can I get credits for it, or can I continue my internship or just utilize it to maybe study what's in the next year so that I don't waste my time. The responses were not very positive, and the responses were, regardless, we don't consider that to be your internships experiences to be credible. So I really felt that with Masters Union, when I look at how my current day is going, so I come to university, I leave at 3. If there is some CXO session, I attend that, right, which is beneficial. But then I'm able to manage my internships, back when I go home, I'm able to manage my studies. And then when I come back and talk to the career services team, like you can email them and they'll be more than happy to chat with you. And when I talk to you that, okay, ma'am, this is an internship that I've got, should I continue this, not continue this? I have never seen anyone discouraging me and saying the reason is that, okay, you might not be able to focus on your academics because your entire motto is to learn by doing. If someone is doing an internship in AI, there will be a chance they know something in AI and that's why they're doing it. So I think it just helps you academically more, and this, I think, where my thoughts and the university's thoughts align.
Interesting. Very, very, very happy to be a small part of that facilitation.
For me, since I was preparing for JEE, right, because of the classic path that everyone takes, it's not that I was forced into it, I just saw everyone doing it.
Yeah.
So it sort of felt like that was the thing to do. But when it was in 12th, right, I already had a really good portfolio and everything. So once I got a counselor for abroad, because it seemed like a really attractive option to me, specifically because of how the programs were. Because the thing is, like, you learn by doing. There, the first thing when I went there, everyone was talking about building their resumes, and that was week 1, right? And that really gets you motivated because you're like, wait, I just got here, and everyone's already talking about this stuff, and they're so serious about it.
Yeah.
These are the people who are like having fun the entire weekend. but as soon as it's Monday, they're locking in for studying or anything, right? So it's like maintaining that good balance as well. So once I did I cleared my boards, I went abroad. I got a really good scholarship there too in Rutgers. So I was part of the honors college community. So I had a lot of additional resources with me, right? Mostly, I only went there to gain experience about tech and everything because I felt like if there's anything new up and coming in tech, it's gonna be there in the US, right? So throughout my entire time there, I got to travel a lot. For example, I went to the AI show at ASU plus GSP. That was one of the biggest EdTech AI conferences they had in San Diego. And I had a very, very great honor to be able to present my idea there. And I met up with a VC. They were part of the Reach Capital team. And just talking to them, hearing about the valley and everything. And then eventually when I did an internship at a startup in Silicon Valley. So it's called Pensive. They're working on this very cool AI grading system, right? Working very closely with them. At the same time, I had a very fun side quest of working as a marine research scientist. A very, very random thing, but I absolutely love doing that, right? Then going to the YC school as well. So all these experiences at the end of the day, you know, they really motivated me to build. And the biggest problem there right now, even if you consider, is, as she said, is financial conditions. And number two, the administration currently. So for me, it was like, if I'm spending so much and I really, really want to build, but even though there's an environment, my visa restricted me to do a lot of things.
Got it.
So earlier I just heard the name about Masters Union because I had one of my friends coming here, but I started looking up on it more, and I immediately fell in love with it because of the resources, you know, seeing the CXO sessions. And for me, thinking about Masters Union was not like I'm dropping anything to come here at all. It never felt like that because I was coming somewhere where I exactly wanted to be, right? So one fine evening, I think, I texted Harman that I'm coming back to India. Let's go to Masters Union. You should apply. About 5 minutes later, he sends me his acceptance letter.
Already applied back then.
Yeah. And immediately then, I knew that we're going to do something really, really cool. And this is what I've always wanted. So for me, it was just a no-brainer to come back. And if I was going to come back, the option was Masters Union. That's
Wonderful. Awesome. Harman.
I think, yeah, last year even I was someone who was really looking forward to go abroad. I did get into top universities as well. And I was just going there. But I think I couldn't go there because of my family situations. But again, I think the future of innovation and like in general is in India. I really believe that. And I think whatever technologies are launched anywhere around the world, they are available to us the next day.
I found a cool loophole in Microsoft's website, right?
Okay.
So you can actually buy cheap stuff from Brazil's Microsoft store and then use it in India as well. So I just started a very basic venture. I got on Twitter. I typed that I'm selling cheap games. And people were like, interesting, how? Are they legal? I said, yes, completely legal. And that was a risk I took because I didn't know if they were legal.
Okay.
So I went on a VPN, just switched to Brazil's VPN and bought quite a few games, sold them for a good profit.
Okay.
I was like, this is interesting. This is something I want to do. This is entrepreneurship, right? You're just making profit of something.
Okay.
Right.
Little bit.
Yeah. Some sort, right? So I was like, this is nice. I want to do this. So back in 23, I applied to Masters Union. My elder brother told me that Masters Union is starting with UG batches and you should go. I got rejected. I started doing internships.
This was in the business program.
In the business program, the TBM program, right? So I started doing internships in tech. I was a tech guy, but I wanted to learn business, right? I got rejected by Masters Union and I just continued with my tech journey. I applied again in 24, rejected again. At this point, you must think कि ईशान तीसरी बार कौन apply करेगा छोड़. But I went on. I continued with some of my father's business as well. He works in Chandni Chowk. You know how a proper business, an Indian business works, right?
Dhanda.
So, yeah, a dhanda, as Ashneer Grover says it. So I worked with him, got to know that business is my thing, but I will use tech to make a business. So to my surprise, they launched a DSI program this year, and I was like Masters Union is calling me. This is my shot.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah, third time's the charm, and I gave it a shot. I applied. By God's grace, I got in, and I was the happiest. You know, I was sitting at my grandfather's place, and I was like just laying down, and I saw the message that you got an offer letter. I was happiest. Like you can't imagine being that happy by just getting an offer letter. And you would be surprised that I actually dropped an offer letter from University of Sydney for Masters Union, and I believe that Masters Union will do better justice to me, because Masters Union not only does the education part correct, but it also does the entrepreneurship part correct, which I actually wanted to achieve, right? So meeting people who actually run businesses, they are teaching me stuff that I wanted to learn from the right of the beginning, right? So I believe I'm not losing on anything studying at Masters Union. Anytime I want global exposure, Masters Union always helps going to GIPs and all those programs. So that exposure I can get regardless staying at Masters Union, but meeting teachers who actually run businesses, you might not see anywhere else.
Wonderful, awesome. So now, you guys, this is making me very happy. But what also makes me very happy is knowing more about your project. So you're building in such diverse fields, right? You're doing something in personal finance, and then also for small medium businesses. You've been doing something for the community engagement, but also something that is on automation, etc. You've been doing so many projects that I've lost count of them. Arushi, you've been in AI for healthcare. You also have so many offers of taking it in diverse directions. Talk to me a little bit more about the projects that you have been working on lately, and what exactly got you into those projects. Is there some personal stories behind them, or did you just find a problem statement that you thought is worthy of solving? Do you want to start?
Sure. So my uncle stays in UK. So we went there and we were having a great time. But during that, my grandfather got hospitalized due to something, like it was, I think, a respiratory problem or something. So he was having fever, and then straight away he was sent to the ICU. Now it could be because he actually had to go to the ICU, or it could be that a lot of the times the Indian healthcare system is of such that even if you are all fine and well, they'll still bill you high. So he was in the ICU. So of course my grandmother was with him, but me and my mom and like my uncle as well, we were just connected through WhatsApp. Now even though that was not a direct problem told to me, I was just thinking one day that okay, so I have so many dust allergies, right? And I've been having those dust allergies since I was 6 years old. Now every time I change a doctor for my allergy or anything, I need to show my medical history in terms of the number of, like, the kind of medicines I was taking for my eyes at the age of 7. Then, okay, what did I switch? Why did I switch? And all that. And the way in India things work is that you don't have a NHS-like system till now.
Yeah.
You have a framework called ABHA by the government, which is launched.
Which is also fairly recent in terms of adoption.
Yeah. And no one is adopting it, as well as especially the private clinics. And so basically, I figured out that okay, these prescriptions I carry like in folders, hospital folders and all that, and they are stored in some corner of the house. Now, the kind of person I am, even today when I have to go to a doctor, I always go with my mom, because I can't even explain the problem, what I'm facing, to the doctor. But my grandfather, on the other hand, how would he remember where he has kept the folder, right? Because he has been a heart patient, he has blood pressure problems, so many problems. So I figured out, okay, what if there is a platform where he can just upload the picture, right? Because he is not familiar with Google Drive and all that. So it was not an app which I thought of at first. It was just a platform where you go on a website, a web app, you just upload your picture and store it. Normal authentication, just put a fake name and just store your prescriptions. But when I was in London that time, and I have this thing where anytime I go on a trip, like this is a condition I've made with my mom, that I'm not going on any trip unless and until I have at least 4 meetings planned in that particular location. So I feel that I'm doing something productive. So in London, I was going to a lot of AI conferences. I was also having a lot of personal meetups with physicists at King's College, Imperial College London, because I had to publish a research paper back then. So I talked to them about this. They said, why don't you make it into an app? Because this sounds like a good problem statement. Again, because I'm not an app development person, I thought, let's make a web app. We'll use Streamlit for the UI. It's the most easiest thing. And since all machine learning happens on Python, it's all integrated. I built the app. It was an MVP. It still is available on Google for anyone to see if you want to. And later I got into this program called BuildSpace, because BuildSpace was happening in June only. So I got in, I would say, a week before. I went through the program. They taught us how to make a pitch deck, how to do idea validation, all the business jazz, right? So I did all of that, and later I launched Kane officially. I made a video on LinkedIn, and I'm a very camera shy person. So when I got the email about the podcast, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do it, but I did all that. I launched the app. I told my school principal that, okay, this is what I've made, please watch this. That was also the reason why many of the videos I posted on LinkedIn, I posted the same video for many of the scholarship competitions. So it became very easier for me. And I launched the app on web. Something which I did very strategically was, okay, how do I monetize it? How do I get business folks to talk to me, right? Because no one, like, how do I make connections basically? So what I did was, Nikhil Kamat's post on LinkedIn was about Silver Fox India and something, basically talking about elder care in India. And I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll comment on his LinkedIn post. I don't need a reply from him. But half of the people who interact with these business posts, they go through the comments to see, okay, who are my competitors, who are the smart folks, right? So I commented that, okay, I'm from grade 12, because in India, because this is not expected from you, that becomes your USP. So I said, okay, I'm in grade 12, I live in Delhi, I made this, these many sign-ups on the wait list. And the entire night, I would say 6 hours, I was keeping track of who is liking my comment. And there were many people who were replying to my comment saying, okay, to like their friends, that, okay, person X, see what she is doing. So I came across many people in India as well as in the Silicon Valley who were building in elder care, especially like in the prescription management problem. I DM'd them that, okay, hey, really, I saw you reacted to my comment. Is there something that related, that resonated with you? Are you building along the same lines? And you won't even believe it, but one really nice, I would say, investor was gracious enough to reply to me. She set up a call with me that weekend itself. So on Friday, on Saturday, she set up a call with me. I still talk to her. She has changed the kind of company that she was building from elder care to something else. But that just gave me a path to talk to more people. And she connected me with someone who was building like flying taxis in India. So like that just really helped. And so I built the Kane app, but I put a pause on that app. Like I would say this May, to full-time do internships, because I felt that, okay, I am building something in AI, but at the end of the day, I don't know how things work on ground level. What is expected out of me as a AI ML engineer? Because next time if I want to hire someone, I should know the GD very well. So I worked in one startup as a junior AI ML engineer. I understood how things happen on ground. That, okay, I have built this model, but it's on my laptop. I need to upload it on a server. That, okay, if you are working with voice agents, there's something that you need to use which is called Postman. Okay, these are the things. This is how a call is transferred. Because on my app there was a feature where you could hear your prescription, and you could send an alert to a guardian, because NRIs face this problem that their parents are in India. So I got a lot of ground level knowledge, and building something in healthcare, the problem that you face is what are the different compliances that you need to follow. And having that knowledge really connected me well, because the office that I was working at, the people were so welcoming that in my interview, they didn't take a formal interview at all. They were like, you have said you've built this, explain this to me. What kind of database have you used? How do you transcribe that prescription? So I said that, okay, you know what I do is that this is the framework that the government has made, and I took my personal prescriptions from my family. So in 500 prescriptions, I identified that, okay, अगर hospital का कोई doctor है, तो उसका main header top right पे जाता है, तो top right को मुझे नहीं देखना, उस region को मुझे pixelize में भी center के इस particular area में करना है. So I think just the ground level knowledge of how things work you get by doing a job. So even if I want to become an entrepreneur someday, I still value ground level internships more, because you understand how to manage people, how to talk to people, and what is the hierarchy. Because at the end of the day, I am going to get work done from people, and I have to know the job very well for me to assign someone a span of time for them to complete that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Divyam.
I think for me, it's always like I love building, right? Like I just make things for the love of it. So anything I build, I just put it out for open source. Like recently, one thing I did was I was I was studying in my class, and I showed it to you as well. I used it in your class.
You mean you were not studying in my class, but building instead?
Yeah, so basically the project is it just listens to your teacher if you're even in a meeting, right? So it just listens to whatever the person is saying in real time, transcribes it, and at the same time generates questions that you can ask them, like smart questions that you can ask them, and smart answers or like quick answers, 2 lines that you can say if you're asked a question. So that's like just real time transcription and then generating according to the context that you have. It's just a fun thing. Like if you're not paying attention in class, maybe you can just use it, right?
Yeah, that's. But what do you think could be a big business that you build out of this?
I think it's really like one problem area that I focus on in the US is communication. Because I felt because of AI and everything, your brain, computer, whatever task you're doing is now offloaded to AI. And the thing you primarily own now are your ideas, your thoughts. And communication for that needs to be done really, really properly. So I remember in the second semester of my college, it was this hackathon that we did for our uni, and we built this really interesting project. So that actually got recognized from MLH a lot and a few VCs as well. The project was basically, imagine you're presenting, like, do you know what the mom test?
Of course.
Yeah. So just like a disclaimer, for example, if you're just presenting to your mom, you're telling someone, very close to you something, even if they don't understand it, they'll love it regardless.
They're going to say yes to it, right? Because your moms always love your project. So that's called mom test, where you validate whether what you're building on is actually a problem, and the solution that you're building, is it meaningful solution or not, right?
Right. But then again, like, you're not getting anything valid out of it. So the model we made was, imagine you're just a pitcher or you're a teacher or someone like that. And you want to see if your audience actually understands what you're doing or not. You want to see it not from like maybe what they're saying or like, what they're showing on their face. But we actually saw the reaction, like how much they're nodding right now, like you are. And then if they're actually like looking at you, where their eyes are at the blackboard or not, or something like that. So what we did was, while you're presenting in real time, it saw where our audience is looking at, where their attention is dipping, where they might lose their attention, right? Like maybe you said some really complex jargon. Like the teacher wrote something on the blackboard and students just don't understand it.
Yeah.
And the students start looking here and there. We observe small patterns like that and make a graph for you. And at the same time, we're recording whatever you're saying. So at the particular points where we see the dip in attention, we relate to those things and we see what you exactly said and tell you the problem. So even if you're not getting a proper feedback from your investor or your students are just not paying attention, you don't even know the reason why. Or you want to see where your mom actually stopped understanding, right? So those minor nuances are what we picked up on. And the primarily goal for that was just improving human attention.
Yeah.
Like the second, it's completely up on my GitHub right now. Like people can just see the code. And the second version of that was building you a virtual audience. Imagine you're just presenting to your laptop. It's like 50 people on the screen, and they're just turning green. Like you put in the type of audience that you want. Like if you're pitching to an investor, it will be much harsher if you use a lot of filler words.
Yeah.
If you're maybe teaching to a classroom, make sure you use simpler words and you're taking a lot of good pauses in between as well. So it sees the type of audience you want, and you do a lot of semantic weighing on those things. You attach particular weights according to your audience, and then you start presenting to that virtual audience, and then you get the live graph.
Yeah.
That while you were presenting, this is how the audience was reacting to you. And here's the exact reason why.
Yeah, this has become very big as virtual customers also. So
Yep.
you can actually get a feedback from your customers on
Yep.
your product by creating virtual customers or virtual segments of your customers, and then trying to understand. So it's so very big in retail and marketing analytics right now, right?
So from that, we won 2 tracks. One was like best educational hack in the second position. But the most important one that we got was best use of AI from Reach Capital. So they're one of the very, very good edtech investors in the Valley. And we had a 30-minute meeting with them, which I think taught me so much about investors that I'm not going again till I actually have revenue or have a product in hand. That's up. So what I realized was VCs are worlds, and you'll be stuck in the cage until you actually have a product up, right? Like, because till then we just had a project that we had up. It was running on a local host and everything. So it's just like 3 students trying to build something that's cool and new, right? And they loved it because they wanted it to be sold to teachers and monetize it and all that stuff. So just being able to meet them and learn from their personal experiences, just seeing how you kind of switch between your founder mode and manager mode, and at the same time, if you're a tech founder, you might miss on a few things. So how you can be bullish in those ways and what you need to focus on. And the most important thing is never ever be afraid to pivot, right? So just getting those small learnings like that. Then since I'm a part of the robotics club here, so I just very recently became the VP. One of the most projects I'm very, very passionate about is working in prosthetics for children, like young children, because they outgrow their prosthetics really soon. So me and my friends worked on this 3D printed smart prosthetic, and the cool fact about that was it's like a fraction of the cost of the normal prosthetic you'd wear. So we designed it in a particular way that it's easily detachable in case you're feeling uncomfortable all of a sudden. It had a GPS location tracker, SOS buttons, and imagine a normal prosthetic costs you around 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees. But can a student really afford that? So the story behind that basically was my brother, he had someone like that in his classroom, right? So he was telling me about it, and that particular student was getting bullied, and we felt really, really bad about it. Then me and my friends just sat down, we thought like, chalo, let's just do something about it. We'll figure it along the way. And we just constantly started iterating just with that kid. He was just trying it out, he was having fun too. The stage we reached was the prosthetic became really affordable, it was really cool, filled with tech, parents have an app to track and everything. But the most minor thing that changed the entire feel of the prosthetic was the skin we made for it. So instead of showing like the exact prosthetic off, you wear this like Spider-Man skin cover that we made. Or like if you're a girl, you can put a Barbie thing, anything you want. And it went to an extent that students actually wanted that for themselves.
Yeah, as a girl, I would prefer the Spider-Man, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
right. Like you can just put anything, and students just started finding that cool. Like someone who does not wear prosthetics now suddenly wants that, because as a third grade student, you're seeing someone walk in with like an Iron Man like leg cover thing, and it's like a cool high-tech leg inside. So it just like tempted them a lot too, right? And that really motivated me to think about the fact that there's a lot of problem in healthcare and disability, especially because you're not like, you shouldn't feel this because of something you're not at par with other people. That's never how it is. Right? So I was really motivated to work in that headspace and all of that stuff. For that, in one of the hackathons, only like 24 hours, we built this fracture detection model. So ER radionics is a very big problem
Do
in
you
the
see
US.
why I said that I've lost track of how many projects he's working on? He's lost track of how many projects he's spoken about in the last 5 minutes. But yeah, go ahead.
Most definitely. I'm just thinking like what all I've done, right? Yeah, so it's just a basic computer vision based model. We trained a lot of images, and the whole point of that was since ER radionics can really need like the appointments and everything is always booked. So they spend a lot of times treating simple hairline fractures.
Yeah.
But nurses can easily help with that. So you just put those images through basic model that we made, and it sees if you have a hairline fracture, how serious it is. It gives you a confidence score on that. And once you detect the fracture, what type of fracture it is, the nurse simply gets a pair of instructions you can do to solve it. And if there's, we'll tell you exactly when this patient should come again and what scenarios should come again. So it just reduces their time by at least like 30%, and that's still a lot by the number of doctors there are.
Yeah.
For example, like these were just different areas I was trying out, right? Because I love to dabble into everything. So one of the areas that I really found interesting was defense. Since India now, we are growing so much and we are trying to make a lot of IP and tech, right? So I really wanted to try out defense tech and computer vision, and just coupling them with a layer of LLM and everything just seems so interesting to me. Like, you're not only analyzing the image, you're giving it meaning, you can give a good output out of it. Especially now, because you can create so much synthetic data and everything. So for the hackathon I did in DC, what we basically built was, since there was a lot of issues with how a lot of countries were trying to sabotage and damage internet sea cables. And the other part of the problem was illegal immigration, like through border. So we built this software for drones which could work both under the water and above water. We had a lot of sonar data about rocks, mines, and marine life. We trained the model, and it could actually chart courses for submarines and detect pirate ships in case we think that there's a mine en route or anything. So you basically just put that drone in there, it sees and scans the entire sonar data and tells you exactly the type of objects there are there. So that's when you deploy the submarine. And even for pirate ships, what we did was, there's like a radar thing that they have to manage. So if you don't show up on that radar, but we can see you in the image, we make sure that we report that image like immediately to the services. So we had this, we had like a Twilio API, couple it up with Gemini for responses and use level ups and everything. And it prepares an action plan, calls the services, and tells them exactly what they need to do, how big the ship is, how big the fleet is, how many people it can detect there, and everything like that. And same went for the border. So it saw how many people are entering, what objects they're carrying, and prepared an emergency plan, called the services and every single team in the area on its own. So a fully automatic agent, and the only person who needs to be running it is one single person who's sitting in a room, because he'll see what is a high alert, what is a low alert, what's a medium alert. And that's, I think, what interested him about the project as well. So for now, I've just been experimenting with projects like that.
Okay, interesting. All right, Harman.
So about me, I'm trying to build like a AI that's there on your computer. So it started like as a fun project where I was annoyed by taking screenshots, going to ChatGPT, uploading my screenshot, and again asking it like a proper prompt and everything. So as a fun project, I called up my friend again from our class. I said that okay, I want to build something that's on my desktop. It's there 24, like it's there always. Whenever I push a hotkey, it should pop up on my screen. It should take a screenshot for its reference. An agent that would identify what's there on the screen, craft a structure for the prompt automatically, and then insert the question, whatever question I have, and maybe give me a better answer which has a more context of what I'm trying to ask. So
So context engineering, but make it automated.
Right. And again, so I pitched this similar idea 3-4 days back at GFF, Global FinTech Fest, to a person. He's a CTO of a company from Singapore. So he gave me a problem statement that why don't you just use this, make it a RAG model, so that whenever a company hires new people, for the training duration, they have a lot of queries. So what if we train that model and create a RAG out of the documentations and the training that we have for our new joiners? And that thing could really help them get like ask basic doubts and everything. So that's a problem statement he gave to me, and I'm trying to add that feature to that thing. So I think that's the point about Masters Union, that how we are building projects and we get so many opinions and so much problem statements and so much things we can cover from people around us. So
Yeah,
I
the
think
trajectory of it went from you and your friend showcasing the product to me. No, you first telling me that a lot of the open source code can be repurposed into building something that is more meaningful and that is
Right.
better. Then you building the product, showcasing it to me in the classroom. Then you both deciding to go to the
GFF.
to GFF one night before it is supposed to fly out. And us postponing the shoot of this podcast because you both were not in, and then finally getting a new almost business proposition which you were gonna build and give me
Right.
sweat equity on.
That's so
right?
true.
All of this in 6 days?
less than
Less
than 6 days.
Yeah.
I think 3-4 days.
3-4 days.
And also sending my voice messages of the people we're meeting.
Oh yes. Also sending voice notes to me at 1 in the night on the kind of people you're interacting with at
Yes,
the
do you want me
airport.
to cover that? How
That
we'll keep it for someone.
we have too many stories.
Right.
Ishaan.
So this all started, I am working on Biz right now, and it started in 24, right? So I started a course on data analytics. I was working with Tableau and Power BI, like importing Excel and CSV files, dragging and dropping down each columns and then making charts out of that. And I was like, ki, AI aa raha hai yaar, why don't we automate this? And I thought of a pain point ki, why make a drop down to everything and then exclusively make a chart for different stuff, right? So I started building Biz, and what pain point I was trying to solve is, or I'm still trying to solve, is that why not make a perspective, right? As if I'm a CFO, right? CFO of a big company. I'll just open up Biz, fire in my files, and just click that I am a CFO. I need every KPI that is related to me being a CFO, and get all the details. I will not run Tableau exclusively and drag and drop down each column and measure separately, right? I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm leveraging AI to do this. And what Biz currently does is that it helps SMBs make data-driven, data-backed decisions, right? So in India, we know that you go to a cafe, right? They will never exclusively ask for all the details like your phone number, your name and mail. But just one extra step of doing this, they could actually properly format a data of the orders they're serving to, right? So let's suppose I just walk into a cafe and they have my details that I come to this cafe on exclusively Saturdays because I'm usually free at that time, right? So if they just use this data to train a model, which I'm doing, train the model and then know that agar is Saturday Ishaan nahi aaya, we'll just give him a call ki Ishaan, you haven't come yet. I'll just give you a discount if you come today. So this is what I'm trying to do, getting SMBs to make data-backed decisions rather just focusing on their gut-based decisions, right? Another project I'm working on, I'm working with Arushi, right? So a project for my own pain point. So I applied to 50 plus colleges when I passed out 12th grade and got into most of them, but again, I didn't know some of their flaws while I was applying. So we're together building an application for the origins of AI subject that we have, and what it does is that it tells a student according to his or her past of what they have done in the high school, including the internships or all the extracurriculars, being in the Rotaract or the Interact Club, or doing sports, or recommending colleges that exclusively offer scholarships based on the extracurriculars that you have done. So I'm just skipping on all these big brands, like I don't know if I can name them, but like TC Global and all of these brands, right? I'm removing the bias that they have. They're just naming particular partnered universities. I'm removing that bias and letting students know that there are actually prospective colleges that they can apply to, which are not covered by these institutions that are making forward, like going forward with their applications, right? So this is one of the things I'm working on as well. And again, Masters Union comes in very gracefully here, because though it's been a month I'm in Masters Union and I'm already doing an internship at my CFO, right? So considering my background in all the data analytics, the business intelligence part, and now I'm working on building a chatbot for a personal finance app, right? How amazing is that, to working on completely almost very different sectors of the tech industry, right? So I'm really interested in knowing that how personal finance will grow as AI grows, right? AI will tell you that, oh, you have this revenue or this income, what credit card you should go forward with, right? So all of this really excites me, right? I'm a very money-minded person, and I love being that way.
Wonderful. For our audience here, you're doing 6 courses in the class right now. We do 2 master classes in the week where we invite speakers who are working and they come and speak to us about things that matter. Some of them are tech, some of them are master classes around particular tools, some of them are master classes which are generally teaching us how to act and behave in corporates, etc. We do one brown bag where one of our peer teaches us something that we don't know. And in addition to that, how many projects are you building right now? How many are you working on? Just a number?
Like in the as per
Outside of,
classes.
yeah, I mean outside of just this in-class experience, or even if it is, for example, something like for
I
your
think
Origins
3
of
or
AI.
4.
4, okay. So 6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4.
I lost track.
Let's take let's give a ballpark number.
It's always like 8 code bases active, right? So it's just,
Okay.
I'd say like 5.
5, all right. 5,
Close to 5, 6.
close to 5, 6.
Close to 4, 5.
Close to 4, 5. Wonderful. All right. All right, folks, let's zoom out a little bit right now. I'm just a proud mama right now, right? All of this is just making me very happy. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing these journeys. As I said, I'm a proud mama listening to all of you and listening to what you seek in your peers, listening to your processes, listening to your projects. I think overall what I take away is that I think the big key to innovation to begin with is having very high intent, which I mean all of you do, but it's also a high bias for action. So, you know, intent translated to action is what leads us to output, doing extra, improving every day, not sitting idle, being part of communities, making sure that you collect people on the way. I think everything sort of signals to how you need to take ownership for your learning, how you need to take ownership for the projects that you build, and I couldn't be prouder that, you know, you guys make up for the first cohort. I just hope that people who are listening to this, whether they are students, whether they are educators, whether they are parents of students who are exploring this, you realize that education can be blended with real world education, can be blended with projects that are meaningful for sometimes for customers, sometimes for self, sometimes for communities, sometimes for businesses, sometimes just for a larger scale based country like India, sometimes from cyber security's perspective or spatial awareness perspective, or continuously learning what's happening new in AI and robotics perspective, or to just build dhanda. Thank you so much, folks, for making time to do this. I know that you have tons of projects to work on, so we will wrap up here. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
All
having
right.
us.